each way. Don't know what the price are going to be like, but worth exploring if you've got a Coral account. Boyles, though, it's 5 places each way, but as you would expect, they can be top price on a lot of players this week. Apart from that, though, we've also got a situation where quite a few of the bookmakers are after new accounts, as you would expect at a major championship. And there's a couple to really keep your eye on. One of them is a golf betting system exclusive. So yes, if you're after this, come to Golf Betting System, read my tips and my betting preview. Golf Betting System in the search engine, or Golf Betting Tips, US Open tips, something like that into your search engine of choice. You'll come across us. Golf Betting System exclusive with Betway. Effectively, they're offering treble the odds or triple odds on any player in the field. That, with Betway, is only available via Golf Betting System. The link in my actual preview. So that's an interesting proposition when you've got players of the ilk of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth, virtually joint favourites this week. But then you've got Justin Rose, who's being tipped up. You've got Dustin Johnson. You've got Phil Mickelson. Lots of money piling on Mickelson. You've got players of that ilk at sub 22 to 1 this week. So you've got 6 players there, and you can throw Ricky Fowler into the mix as well, sub 22 to 1. So that Betway treble odds for new customers on your first bet is a very attractive proposition. If you fancy one of those 6 players, a very, very interesting promotion, it has to be said. Maximum bet is £10 or €10, and on top of that, winnings come back in cash that is withdrawable. So unlike some other bookmakers out there where the winnings come back as free bets, in this situation your winnings come back as withdrawable cash. And another deal that we always highlight here at Golf Betting System, again 888 Sport, as our Betway, it's triple odds on anyone in the US Open field this week on your first bet. Again, £10, €10. But of course, with 888 Sport, that first bet is win only. Interestingly enough, with the Betway offer that I'm highlighting, you can go £10 win, £5 each way as an example. So each way betting is also covered on the Betway promotion, which is completely exclusive to Golf Betting System this week. Paddy Power also doing some McIlroy Spieth. You can get McIlroy at 25 to 1, Spieth 33 to 1, or treble the odds on any other players for new customers only. But I have to point out with that deal that the difference between their standard price and their new customer price is paid back in free bets. Okay, so those are the offers that are available. As I said, only Coral, Default and Boyle Sports have gone 5 places each way. Let's take you through this week's predictor model, and I have to say the predictor model has really thrown out a player at the top that I was going to tip anyway, but when he actually jumped to the top of the predictor that I pulled together, it was an absolute no-brainer. I'll take you through, we've got a bit of time this week, I'll take you of course through the top 10. 10 is world number 1 Rory McIlroy, 8 to 1 with 888 Sport. 9, Kevin Na, bit of value there, 100 to 1 with Paddy Power. Na having a very good season, probably the season of his life genuinely, just needs a win. Whether that's going to come at the US Open, debatable. But don't forget there is a history, and I'm going to take you through Paul Williams' long shots in a moment, but there's a history here. Eric Compton at 500 to 1 last year, Brooks Koepka as well, 200 to 1. Big price players will get in the mix this week. 8 is Hideki Matsuyama, 35 to 1 with Paddy Power. 7 is Phil Mickelson, 18 to 1 with Stan James. If you are very, very quick, he's 16s everyone else. He was as big as 25s before the money started tumbling in on Phil when he started to fire in the birdies at Memphis last week on Sunday. 6, Jason Day, 40 to 1 with Betfred. For me, Day out of sorts. Top 5, Matt Kuchar, again out of sorts for me, but statistically very strong, 55 to 1 with Sky Bet. 4 is Jimmy Walker, 40 to 1 with Bet Victor. 3 is Jordan Spieth, 9 to 1 with 888 Sport. 2 is Dustin Johnson, 22 to 1 available with Coral or Bet Victor as well. And number 1 is Brandt Schnedeker, 50 to 1 available with Coral. If you want 6 places each way, you can get 45 to 1 somewhere like Bet365. So Brandt Snedeker at number 1, Dustin Johnson 2, Jordan Spieth 3, Jimmy Walker 4, 5 is Matt Kuchar. If we're looking for players outside of the top 10, Patrick Reed played very well here at the US Amateur. I think he was top. He got the lowest round in the stroke play around here. I think he shot a 68 or something. He's at 11. His scrambling and short skills will suit. Koepka playing well at the moment, of course, 55 to 1 at 12. Bubba Watson available at position 13, 40 to 1 with Coral. Lots of money on Watson this week. Ian Poulter, who will not fancy it at all, with 14. Henrik Stenson, 33 to 1. And then Mark Warren, 300 to 1 on Mark Warren. That's a big, big price. Warren going well at the moment at 16. We've also got Frankie Molinari at 100 to 1. He's at 18. And George Coetzee, another interesting player, 275 to 1 on George Coetzee. It does and can happen. We've also got players of the ilk of Brandon Grace in the top 25. And also Tony Finau, the long hitter, 200 to 1 with Paddy Power. So Finau, Grace, a good long shot. Coetzee, Frankie Molinari, Mark Warren. Mark Warren, 300 to 1. So that's this week's predictor model for you. Okay, let's tell you a little bit more about the tournament itself. Now, it's going to be unique this week in as many ways as the US Open can be. Always the toughest golf tournament of the year. Always ranks number 1 in difficulty. I don't see this year being any different. The course is in a old quarry. It's in a natural amphitheatre. Features man-made sand dunes pretty much across the whole course on all the holes. Some of the rough looks absolutely gnarly. The fairways are very, very wide. I think they're the widest fairways of any US Open venue in the past. So you think to yourself, it's going to play as short as it's a par 70. They're going to muck around with up to 10 of the holes this year, where they can use different tees, shorten them, lengthen them rather. Number 1 and number 18 each day are going to be so if number 1's a par 4, they'll play 18 as a 5. If number 1's being played as a 5, they're going to change number 18 to be a par 4. And one of the noticeable things that I took from the course is the length of long par 4s. I think 8 of the par 4s are something crazy like over 480 yards long. Now, to me, that would suggest that length has to be a huge advantage around it. It just has to be. The course is going to play firm and fast. They reckon the greens are just about holding at the moment, but we're talking about Tuesday right now. There's going to be no rain leading up to the tournament. There's going to be no rain during the tournament. Those greens are going to be exceptionally quick, and the only way they're going to slow them down is basically throwing a hose on the course, which I'm sure Mike Davis does not want to do. So if you're looking at skill sets, it plays as a links golf course on speed. For me, the ability to hit the ball well over 300 yards has to be an advantage. But I'm reading various different player reports and expert reports that suggest that the greens are so fast, it doesn't really matter if you go in with a pitching wedge or you go in with a 6 or 7 iron. But with the 6 and 7 iron, you're just going to have to basically pitch and run or get the ball to go in low and run up to the green. There's lots of different ways of playing this course, and they're saying that it all boils down to imagination. A lot of the holes don't even think about aiming at the flag, because I think it's 12 of the actual green complexes have bat balls. So basically take the ball and send them into the actual green itself, so you can feed the ball into pin locations. It's a fascinating golf course. Lots of contours on the course. So for the creative kind of player, that's creative with his approach shots and is creative around the green, can scramble. Some of the bunkers and the waste areas look really harsh. So you've got to be able to scramble. You've got to be able to sand save around here. It really is going to be a tough golf course. It's going to be a tough test that's going to appeal to some players and certainly not appeal to potentially the majority of players. So Who am I going for? Well, I'm sticking fairly close to the predictor model this week. It has to be said I'm going effectively for 4 of the top 7 in this week's predictor model. Top of the shop in terms of price. In fact, I'll work it actually in reverse order. I'm going for a point each way, 45 to 1 with Bet365. Brandt Snedeker. Snedeker likes tough golf courses, likes links golf courses. Very good out west. Has already won at Torrey Pines, which is obviously a very long coastal golf course on the Pacific Ocean, as this is. He's also won at Pebble Beach I think in 2013 and 2015. We were on him last time in 2015. He's won at Harbour Town. He obviously likes playing golf by the sea. He's one of these streaky players. When he finds form, he can prolong it over 3-4 weeks. So I was interested to see him finish second at Colonial, of course he'd never done well at previously. And then a couple of weeks ago he followed that up with 6 at the Byron Nelson Championship at TPC Four Seasons. Of course he'd never done anything at. There's no doubt that he might not be the biggest green hitter in the world, but he can hit greens from distance over 200 yards. He's a fantastic scrambler. His putting obviously goes out without saying. And he likes playing tougher, technical golf courses. He's finished third in the British Open, sound like an American, at the Open Championship a few years ago. He was 11th at Muirfield on that incredibly firm and fast tournament that Mickelson won. He would have been a lot better without a 78 in round 2. Take that away, he'd have been very close to the lead. He can play these very fast golf courses. So Brandt Snedeker, a point each way at 45 to 1 with Bet365. He's the predictor number 1. Got to have a bit of that. Jimmy Walker's next up for me, point each way at 40 to 1 with Bet Victor. If you found a better player over the recent seasons on the West Coast than Jimmy Walker, send me a tweet at Bamford Golf and just tell me the name, please, because Walker has played brilliantly on the West Coast swing. Two wins out at the Sony Open at Waialae. He's won at Pebble Beach. He's got a great record at Riviera. He's had a top 4 at Torrey Pines. Last year, 3 top 10s, or top 9s actually, in his last 4 major appearances. I tipped him up at Augusta. He did nothing there, but the fact of the matter was he was actually